Evening, folks. Well, I sit here and I have my campfire in the backyard, with all my neighbours around me. One house there with 2 units, another one down there, then the one behind me, and then the one right beside me here. And then when the helicopter goes over, I worry about being in trouble for having a backyard fire. I mean, what has this country come to? Today I went into Brisbane to a freedom rally. And I also took people to show them what a rally is like. I was expecting this one to be a big one, given that the digital ID has just been passed by government and it hasn't been through the due process that it's supposed to go through to be passed through government. But in any case, the digital ID's in, but it's only temporary. Or no, it's not temporary, it's voluntary. Yeah, well, the last time we heard voluntary turned into mandatory. And this is where we are today. At the end of this month, the government, or in this case the grubberment, are voting on a misinformation bill. Now, that is essentially where they, the grubberment, decide whose information you hear. You need to understand that the mainstream media are being paid to say what the government wants you to hear. You need to look outside your box that you're living in to understand what is going on. I was expecting way more numbers at this rally, and it was so disappointing to see, that tiny little Queen's Garden with still space on it for people to stand. There are so many reasons for people to be upset at the government, and everybody that I talk to, they all agree to say the same thing. But then you don't contact your local members, you don't turn up for these rallies, and then you're still going to moan about when Australia becomes a communist country. Well, unless you're willing to make a stand and draw a line in the sand and do something, you've got to do something. So digital ID's already been passed, and the misinformation bill is at the end of the month. So you may as well say hello communism, because this is what Australia is now. I mean, I'm worried about getting a fine for lighting a fire in my backyard that I do for my own mental health. I get the smokeless timber, and yes, there is a difference between petrol stations. One is very smoky, this one is less smoky. And so I try to be as considerate as possible, but why should I be worried that I'm going to get a fine or something for doing something that we never thought twice about? What a slippery, slippery slope we are on, people. Wake up. Start to look outside your little kennel, or else it's going to become that.